This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have the top 16 deck list for CoreTCG's Digimon in-person regional that happened this past weekend, and it's pretty much the first big West Coast event that's ever happened since the release of the card game. So almost 2 years in the making, 460 players, 9 rounds, and just a lot of Digimon. So one, shouts to Core for giving me the list to give to you guys, for also running the event and letting myself and Steven run the stream. So I did enjoy that. There will be links in the description as well in this document for the VODs on Twitch, and it will be re-uploaded onto my YouTube later this week for those who want to watch the matches. Really good matches, and I did appreciate the opportunity. And if you guys do appreciate all the hard work and everything, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'm still traveling and on the road right now, so the audio quality might not be as good as always, but that is what we're doing. So I wanted just to get you guys these deck lists as soon as possible. And going over these deck lists, we do have 6 MetalGarurumons, 3 Alphamons, 3 D-Brigades, 2 Gaiomons, and 2 Grandis. And honestly, I think this is just like the end game of this format. Obviously, BT9 is on the way out, and I truly think like these are the 5 most consistent, strongest archetypes in the meta right now, and just kind of shows this. And honestly, too, something like when people play in these in-person events, usually people play safer decks just because there's just so much more invested time to travel, money, everything else. People want to play a deck that they're really confident with, and there's less chance for kind of cheese or something new. And obviously, we're so late into this format too that I don't think there's much more unexplored territory for it. So we are just going to go over the list real quick and go over the top deck in every archetype, starting with Jose Salas's first place MetalGarurumon X. Starting off, we do have Jose Salas's first place MetalGarurumon, and this is such a powerful deck right now. And honestly, I talked to him afterwards, and he doesn't think it's going anywhere into the BT10 meta, and I simply agree with it. It's just so powerful. It just reminds me of a lot of like early Imperial Digimon stuff, where you just make this kind of medium-sized stack and you just keep swinging and you don't care what's in that security most of the time. And if you hit 4 damage, like it's very, very strong. And if you guys watch the VOD, you'll just see how good this deck is at just doing 4 or 5 damage on just like 5 memory or so over 2 turns. It's so obnoxious. And just, you know, the idea is that you can use the Garurumon promo to draw cards on every swing. The Garurumon X antibody can go on top of it to get some battle protection. The Garurumon promo here lets you swing twice, and then also the X antibody lets you unsuspend a second time. And if you do have the X antibody and you swing with the Garurumon on the second swing and you X ante go into Garu, you'll have 2 swings at 4 checks, and that's just enough to get 5 between the first check doing 1 and then 2 checks. So it's just very, very good in a lot of things. So I don't have a lot more to say. I think Jose played it very well. He knew how this deck works, and his deck loved him back and got him all the lines that he needed. And just a big shout outs to Jose for that. So, and honestly, like again, finishing 9-0 at again one of the biggest events of the year in person, I think is a great accomplishment. So really big shout outs to him with this list. Next up, we do have James Hernaez, second place Alphamon, and James is a black player, true and true. He's been playing it forever. When black was not good, he's still, this is my color, I'm going to be doing it. And so Alphamon is obviously the strongest deck in the format, in my opinion, maybe tied with MetalGarurumon. And so just having one of the best black players playing one of the best decks in the format makes a lot of sense for how this is. 11 rookies between the Dorumons and the Ryudamons. We do have some text in sense of the Alphamon BT5 or BT6 promo, or not promo, secret rare, my apologies. This is just really nice, especially since you can use it to digivolve up to, and you can even do some fun things with like X antibody, where you swing X antibody, digivolve, and this end of attack you get to gain 2 memory, which is cool, especially if you have like the Oryuken underneath it as well. It just says end of attack once returned if this Digimon has Alphamon and state unsuspended. So if you have a Greymon and you swing in, you go into this Alphamon and you get this Oryumon underneath it from just using the Greymon effect to digivolve earlier, you get to swing with Alphamon, you get to unsuspend, and you get to gain 2 memory. So a really cute combo. Obviously not a really consistent one because you are running only 1 X antibody, but you can search it with the Cool Boy and just everything else with it. So there were some kind of cool plays you're able to get with that. And the Alphamon is such a good security effect in itself. It's very, very strong. The one of Ultimate Flare just for some really hard removals too. Breath of the Gods and Black Memory Boost and just everything else. So honestly, like I will say, like Alphamon has been kind of figured out for a long time, and even though there's just only so many cards this deck runs. This is a really creative list in a lot of ways, and I'm really happy it did well for James and he's able to get that second place. So congrats to James, and just in general on his finish there. Next up, we do have the 4th place Vu Lee's, the the down paired champion. He got down paired twice on round 7 and round 8, and if he lost either match, it would have been on 8 rounds. But he wanted to get that top 4 placing, and he earned it outright. So there was a lot of red at this event, and we may have leaned more to doing more stream stuff for red, but it was in a really good spot, and I think maybe a lot of people saw in Kansas City, security control did really well and did a lot that people were like, let's play red, let's be aggressive, let's play these, these decks that can get around it. Like even just like the one of tech of the War Gaiomon that has security attack +1 and doesn't activate security skills is just super big in those matchups. And even just giving a way for this deck to be even more aggressive is cool. So you can do something like you can have Gaiomon underneath it, you can have a tie out, you can have the MetalGarurumon X Digivolve into Wargrave, and if it's still your turn to go into the Gaiomon, you have like 4 checks right there, and it can just end the game if you want. They're one of Gravity Crush 2 to do some funky things if you need to, and just everything else. And I do like the Nokia Tamer. I think it can do some fun stuff, which is also like an excuse to run the Agumon that lets you draw a look top 4, even though like this can be tricky with how you balance your colors sometimes. It all just kind of works when it does, and that's really cool to see. So congrats to Vu. He had some really clutch matches on stream as well, and just congrats on that top 4 finish. Next up, we do have Gregg's 5th place D-Brigade, and again, D-Brigade's just been in a good spot just for the last month and a half, and it just kind of like this in-between of like a rookie rush, but also like security control, because your rookies are so consistent and everything else with them that you can afford to run these big chunky options that if they happen to be in your security, sometimes they just win you the game. So we do have the Commandermons, 2 Chinkurimons. We also have the Naughtymon in there as well, which can just be another security Digimon that pops out, get you 1 more attack than you're expecting. Or you can even just do like a cheap Digivolve for 2s, because sometimes you have weird memory turns, and like the extra draw you get from this is really good. Death Xmon, you guys know, is good. Only 3 Darkdermons, which is interesting, and then the Kazu and Izzy. Kongu as well is an interesting choice for the deck, and then 4 Ultimate Flares and 4 Iron Fisted Onslaughts. Just so much destruction for this deck. So congrats to Gregg on their finish there. And the last one we have is Patrick's 14th place Grandis, and Grandis is still out. I think maybe, I don't know. I think this is a solid tier 2 deck. I think Grandis is cool, and obviously, if you make your line and you're able to go off with it, you're in a super duper good spot. But I also think it is a deck that is moderately figured out with just everything that goes with it. So it's a good line. Like obviously, Grand Quagamon into Grandis being able to do a bunch of damage, piercing if you're able to swing over things is super good. We still see these merciful mode techs as well. When digivolving for each card with Mega in the traits into Digimon's cards, delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon, so you can delete 2 pretty easy if you do the X into Grand into Grandis, and then also place 10 cards from your opponent's trash to the bottom of your deck. So your turn trash top card of this deck if you do your trash top card of your opponent's Digimon stack. So just kind of having like some ways to pop security without having to attack in is good, especially if you're in some of these kind of rougher matchups. And then just it's a green deck after that. I think this is a deck that's more based on just your performance and how you do with it, and just Patrick hit it out of the park. So that's going to be it. And those are all the lists. I will say like nothing super flashy with the deck list in the sense that these are really, we're in the end game of BT9, but I think a lot of great players, and just it was a fantastic time. I'm really happy I went to this event. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. So it's again to Core for that. Make sure to check out the Twitch VODs, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.